There's some very distressing and disturbing news coming out of America. There's been a whisper that the Statue of Liberty will be removed. It will be taken down by Antifa and Black Lives Matter activists as soon as Joe Biden wins his presidency. Because the Statue of Liberty is about liberty and justice, of course, and those things no longer count in Biden's Brave New World, where someone gets to make laws up as they go, and then therefore you can rob stores and burn and loot. And it's quite alright, providing you've got a Black Lives Matter banner going, and creating that, doing that, you can destroy all of America, and they can destroy then the Statue of Liberty with Antifa, because the Statue of Liberty is obviously a woman standing there doing a sort of a Nazi salute. You have to remove that because it's obviously a sign of fascism. That the Statue of Liberty is obviously so in their mind, liberty means fascism for some reason. How liberty become to mean fascism is something you'd have to go and ask Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, all these leading light of America, and all the Hollywood stars who've just woke themselves, and you can't make a movie unless it's got a kaleidoscope of differentials, with all the variable differentials of the human race into its scene, so it becomes like a Cecil DeMille's big deal blockbuster with people from all over the planet in it, mixing it to make it work, because that's what they've done. They said you have to count in someone from every different country in the world, and then you have to have all the different variations of that. So it becomes a pretty big movie when you think about all the different variations that have to be in a movie to make it work. Now Hollywood, who's just, as I said, it's just woked itself with this sort of strange idea that you can this is art. Art is only about identifying human differences. Something like that. That is an art, according to them. The audience will be satisfied as long as there'll be an audience turning up to these movies, unless they got someone representing every different aspect of humanity. You can see there's real genius behind this woke people. I wonder, it actually looks like they're in an asylum, they're lunatic asylum people, because they're trying to get them status amongst lunatic asylum attendants. They're locked down in this lunatic asylum called woke, and now they've all got this power trips in their head. They've all become, this asylum patient sitting there saying, I am Admiral Nelson, or I am Bonaparte, or Napoleon Bonaparte, or I am this, or I am Hitler. And that's what they've all now, the Hollywood superstars and all the Hollywood woke people, have turned into like those madmen, what were sort of in the lunatic asylums, rest homes for the mentally deranged, whatever you want to call them, who used to think they were some great dictator like Napoleon Bonaparte or something like that, because that's what they're all acting. Individuals, all these individuals acting like little dictators. And it has to be, when you look at it, it'd be very, very interesting to listen to a conversation that they had to come up with these ideas they have, because that in itself would be worth filming. If the Hollywood crew want to make money, film the actual conversations they have in regards to how they develop these ideas they come up with, so they end up woke. I call it, they woke themselves to death. It's woke yourself to death. Woke yourself broke. Go woke, go broke. We've heard that plenty of times on YouTube already, but that's what they're doing. So this idea that you can have a movie with a kaleidoscope, and then, Admiral Nelson on a wheelchair, a black Admiral Nelson on a wheelchair with the Battle of Trafalgar, an historical movie now. An historical movie, Battle of Trafalgar, and there you go. Or Agincourt, you got a sort of gay person in the wheelchair at the front playing Henry V. Off he goes, and he's charging in, and a bunch of people in all different gay clothes and all different genders, genders, and all the different sort of representative from all over the world at the Battle of Agincourt. That's a movie I want to see. It's a movie I really want to see, that movie, because that is, in other words, Hollywood from now on is only going to make comedies. Even though it may not seem funny to them, to anyone thinking about it for 2 minutes, it's hilarious. Hollywood is saying it's turned itself into the announcement space. It's turned itself into an ongoing comedy saga. It's a series of Wonkies are a series of comedies. It's comedians, and they're actually funny, even though they think they're being serious. And in the heads, they can't be serious. You can't be serious that you can make a movie which is supposed to be art and entertaining, and the only aim of that movie to get an Oscar. The acting merit means nothing. The audience have got to be able to identify someone from every aspect of humanity. Some cripple and some probably who's sort of mentally deranged, and a black person, an Asiatic person, and an Indian, and an Eskimo. Get some Eskimos in there as well. Get some Comanches in there. Get some little tiny, what do they call, pygmies from Africa. Have a few pygmies in as well. You get a few pygmies in the scene as well. And you can sort of get big fat ladies and all sorts of people in the movie to make it seem though. So when people sit there, there's some form they can identify with in the movie. You don't need to identify with the actual story, because I don't know you write a story like that. You could if you had a sense of humour, but those people haven't got a sense of humour, and Holllywood has not made a comedy. Holllywood has not made a comedy. That's the funny part. Hollywood has never made a comedy, but now Hollywood is a comedy. It's just walked itself.